Now I see this fight and I think to myself, after watching Coach Perillo put in such an amazing camp, Cheeto striking, looking better than ever. Where does Cheeto, where does Coach Perillo, where does the camp go from here, Luke? How do they restructure, get back in the favors of the UFC? Because we see he has the potential. He has the star power. He's coming off huge fights. I mean, he's still a big name for the UFC.
Yeah, he's still a big name, and he's still loved, and he puts on great fights. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a skid, but I think he did a lot of things better this fight, stepping on the gas. You just got to get the right fight, and you just got to you got to really can't back up at times. There's just certain things you got to put a stamp on these things. You got to win. You got to go out there and really do some solid convincing at the end of rounds.
Rampage, what was the worst reffing or worst kind of judging that you've ever had, vice versa?
The worst judging that I had, what, you talking about when I fought Forrest Griffin? Oh, you mind me personally? Or the worst judging I ever seen?
Yeah, that's
the worst judging I ever seen was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Really?
Yeah, they had this one lady judge there, and she brought her kid there the whole time. Her kid was running around, and she was like tending to her kid, and she didn't even watch the fight.
So personally, though, the Forrest Griffin one's the worst refereeing judging you've ever had?
It was the worst because, sometimes when you end the fight, I didn't know. I thought, oh, maybe I did lose this fight because you trust the judge.
Yeah.
When I went back and watched that fight, like, man, I won 3 out of 5 rounds.
Is that one of the only fights you ever went back and watched after?
I watched that.
You told me you don't watch fights.
Yeah, because that's when I lost my belt.
Oh, got it.
I watched that fight
by yourself at home.
Yeah, I watched it with my team. Because they told me I won. They was mad at me when I did the interview and said like, well, he kicked my ass because I thought he did.
Who said that?
I said it in my. I said it because they gave him the decision and I was in the fight and for me I'm going off instinct, so I'm not in there thinking. So I thought, yeah, okay, maybe he won. Then I watched the fight like, you got to beat the champ to be the champ, and I won 3 out of 2 rounds. Then I can't remember what happened, but you guys may be able to look this up. But 2 fights later, it was one show and then another show later, another champion. It happened the other way where the champion kept his belt and they said, oh, you got to. It was a close fight or whatever, and then he kept his belt, and they was like, "Oh, you got to beat the champ to be the champ." And these people said, "Oh, well, what happened with Rampage?" And they shut it down. I was like, "Oh, okay, you know what it was."
You don't watch your wins. You don't like to watch your nice work. Like I liked it. When I was younger, I used to love going back and watching when I executed the way I want.
No, I watch the clips. If I win, I watch the clips. If I lose or get knocked out, I would never watch that shit ever.
Never.
None of it.
I watch it one time.
Yeah.
One time that night to see what the fuck happened.
This is an honest question for you, Rampage, and then Luke, I'll ask you the same thing. Does it make you more upset knowing that you won the fight and they didn't give it to you, or does it make you more upset knowing you're a better fighter and you didn't just finish him?
With that fight, I remember we talked about it here with Forrest. I think I was more upset that he knew he didn't win that fight. Come on, you got to know, because when I fought Shogun at the time in Pride, I thought he beat me. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. I thought he beat me, and they gave me the fight, and I was like, man, I think I lost that fight. And that. You know what I'm saying? And people say it was a really close fight, and people was like, yeah, Rampage, you won that fight. And I was even trying to give him my trophy in the ring. I was young. He was like, man, I don't want that shit. I'm like, yeah, okay. But
you were young. He was young.
Yeah,
he was like 20 in there.
Yeah, he was younger than me, huh?
When you beat Shogun, right?
Yeah, and not Shogun, Ninja, my bad. Ninja, my bad.
Yeah, you want the rematch with Shogun.
Yeah, I want the rematch with Shogun. My bad. When I fought Ninja, his brother. So, I feel like I always fought with honor. If you guys pay attention to my fights, I never fought dirty. I never eye-poked anybody my whole career. I never needed or kicked anybody in the nuts intentionally. You know what I'm saying? And so one thing about me, I joke around stuff outside the ring, but I always wanted to be the most entertaining fighter, but I always fought with honor. And I wanted to be the best fighter that day.
That's the Japanese in you.
Yeah. What?
That's the Japanese in you.
You gotta be careful to take a compliment from Bear.
Right.
Because sometimes your compliments be kind of like backhanded.
You're super into Japanese culture.
Yeah. They used to call me Kokujin Samurai.
What does that mean?
Black samurai.